A bad church experience led to this conclusion.
I said that I don't want nothing to do with God, and I'm not going to church anymore. I don't want to hear nothing about God. I don't want to hear his name. I just don't want to hear anything.
A life headed in the wrong direction.
You at a strip party, stripping, bunch of men, raining down 50s over your head, 20s or whatever.
Find out how a voice stopped her in her tracks on today's 700 Club Interactive. Well, welcome to the show. If you enjoy Chick-fil-A and happen to be a student at Fordham University, you'll have to go off campus to get your chicken sandwich. The Catholic University explored their dining options, and Chick-fil-A was high on the list.
However, after consulting with Rainbow Alliance, among other LGBTQ groups, Fordham decided against adding the popular chicken chain. The Rainbow Alliance co-president, Renata Francesco, said if they want to bring in Chick-fil-A, they can bring in Chick-fil-A. But we're not going to partner with an institution, a corporation that has so strongly supported other institutions that work to destabilize and demolish movements for queer equality.
And this has a much broader, I think, implication for our culture, where if you, as a corporation or an individual, give money to any group that says we stand for traditional marriage in our culture today, we want to vote that way, we want to encourage other people to vote that way. All of this goes back to Chick-fil-A's support for Proposition 8 in California. That proposition, by the way, won in the popular vote, but then was mysteriously struck down in the courts as somehow a constitutional amendment being unconstitutional. But it speaks to, if you donate, if you participate, then forever you are boycotted. This is not just, you just don't have free speech anymore in that kind of culture.
And not boycotted by individuals who may say, you know, I don't agree with what they've done, so I'm not going to eat there, but boycotted by an entire university. I find it hard to believe that.
Well, it's the small group that says, we will protest at the university level. We will make your life very difficult if you don't follow with our wishes.
Yeah. But the university, I mean, what's up with that?
Well, we're seeing it. We're seeing it with advertisers now. We're seeing it with advertising agencies that they won't support particular television hosts because of certain things. And it does. Please understand. Let me underline. This will impact free speech. Now. We're not dealing with governments here, so this isn't a constitutional issue, this isn't a First Amendment issue, but I do think it's a cultural issue, and we need to guard ourselves. Yeah. Well, speaking of Chick-fil-A, Leah Carroll's son, Malachi, has special needs, and she visited the restaurant with her son recently, and then another boy shouted, "Hey, Mom, look at that boy," and Leah noticed the horror on the mother's face.
Well, Leah posted a thank you on Facebook to the unnamed mother, saying, "You leaned forward and quietly told him and his 3-year-old brother that we don't say things like that and they shouldn't point or stare. But in most cases, these suggestions are futile with young, curious minds." And then she goes on to say, "You took a deep breath and you took a step of courage. You brought your boys over to Malachi and said, I bet he'd like to know your names. You took the time to educate your sons in that moment and help them understand that different is okay. Different is not something to fear, and that it was okay to ask questions." Boy, kudos to this mom. Talk about a learning moment.
That's a very smart mom, and not just saying, well, I'm embarrassed and let's get out of here, but saying, okay, I'm embarrassed, but I need to make sure that my kids know.
And you know, the interesting thing is when we do something like that, when we take advantage of those moments, it's not just Leah and her son that notice. I imagine that whole restaurant saw what that mom did.
And it's a life lesson for your kids.
Absolutely.
Seize that moment. Don't turn away from that moment.
Despite your own discomfort with what your children may have done. Yeah, awesome. Good
well,
job.
Some good news and bad news for an Irish Christian baker who declined baking a cake with this message: support gay marriage. Back in 2014, Daniel and Amy MacArthur, owners of Asher Bakery, received a request from an organization called Queer Space to bake a pro-gay marriage cake. When the MacArthurs declined, they found themselves at the center of a civil rights action case. And the judge found them guilty of discrimination for injury of feelings, and then fine the couple hundreds of dollars. Well, they have appealed and lost and are now taking their case to the Supreme Court.
What we refused to do was to be involved with promoting a political campaign to change marriage law in Northern Ireland. Because we're Christians, we support the current law, and we felt that making this cake would make us responsible for its message. We wouldn't decorate a cake with a pornographic picture or with swear words. We wouldn't even decorate a cake with a spiteful message about gay people, because to do so would be to endorse and promote it. It's been a trying time, but we're thankful to God and His faithfulness to us through everything. He is still on the throne. He is the ruler of heaven and of earth, and He is our God, and we worship and we honor Him.
Well, here's the interesting thing. The controversy hasn't hurt sales. The bakery's profits have actually increased from $1.4 million to $1.6 million in just 1 year.
Well, let's all go to Ireland and buy a cake. Yeah. Again, I'll underline it. This is a free speech issue. If you as a business owner don't agree with a particular message, and whether that's on a cake or a t-shirt, can another individual force you in the court system to do that and to violate your own conscience? I think as a culture, we need to be very wary of this. At what point in time do we deny the freedom of conscience? And I think we're at that point right now. And we need to protect free speech. We need to particularly protect political speech. This has to do with a law that's currently on the books in Ireland and an attempt to overthrow it. And if you don't want to get along with the overthrow, does that make you now somehow subject to a civil rights court? No, we need to stand up for freedom of conscience. And let me add to this, there's Article 18 to the UN that protects freedom of conscience. And this was put into the UN Charter by none other than Eleanor Roosevelt, who thought of it as a fundamental human right, that all people everywhere, regardless of nationality, regardless of whether they have a Bill of Rights, that by signing into the UN, those countries guarantee you have freedom of conscience. You have the freedom to believe what you want to believe. Well, last week, 82 Nigerian girls, known as the Chibok girls, were released. And this after 3 years in captivity and being kidnapped by Boko Haram. The release came following the Nigerian government's negotiated deal to exchange detained militants.
The girls require a rehabilitation process at the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, which will reportedly delay their return home 8 to 12 months. Some of the parents and community members feel the rehab process is too long. A strategic leadership member of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign says the rehab is absolutely necessary, considering how long the girls spent with the extremists.
Well, I'm all for rehab. I'm all for, is there going to be PTSD? Does it need treatment? But the best place for these girls is back with their families. Yeah. And to deny them yet another year, that's adding another year to what has already been a 3-year horror.
Seems like there ought to be some way to bring that healing and counseling process into them while they're in residence with their families.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we all know the dangers internet pornography poses, especially to children. But Christian evangelist and apologist Josh McDowell says he's warning parents to prepare their children by age 5. Get this, age 5. He says pornography's effect on the brain is similar to narcotics such as cocaine and heroin.
McDowell's ministry recently conducted a study showing that nearly half of young people are actively seeking pornography weekly or more frequently. And more than 1 in 4 individuals between the ages of 25 and 30 viewed pornography before puberty. The same study found 21% of youth pastors and 14% of pastors are currently struggling with this issue. And McDowell says pornography is probably the greatest problem or threat to the Christian faith in the history of the world. Actually, I've seen some stats about pastors and youth pastors that have been higher than those percentages.
I've seen higher, I've seen lower, and I think getting into the stats You know, you can debate that all day. But the effect of pornography, not just on faith, but on marriage, is profound. And we're seeing that in the millennial generation, where these people are delaying marriage and foregoing marriage. And I believe it's because of the culture of pornography. We've become so used to it. We've become so used to sexualization in all of our media, not just pornography, but all the advertising. It all seems, you know, the sex sells. And so it's like we've gotten numb to it. We don't even pay attention to it anymore. But what happens in the brain is fascinating from a medical standpoint, but horrifying from stability of marriage standpoint. If viewing those images releases a chemical in the brain that is similar to narcotics, it definitely is addictive. And what does that do to long-standing intimate relationships in marriage? It absolutely destroys them. So as a culture, can we stand up? Again, this is another free speech issue where we don't have the freedom to say political views on gay marriage, but we also don't have the freedom, and I would call it freedom, to say, let us as a culture not have these kinds of images coming into every device that we own, and particularly devices that would be in the hands of children.
Yeah, well, that's what I think coming into, you know, it talks about there certainly are adults and now young people who are seeking it, but the fact of the matter is it comes into your devices.
It's looking for you to click.
You don't
it's
have
looking
to look
to get you hooked.
Exactly.
And if we can ban cigarette advertising, why can't we ban this kind of advertising?
So McDowell's onto something there. Well, coming up, she says the enemy has no intention of playing nice and wants to destroy your children. Author Deven Wallace joins us to tell us how to defend our home and inheritance, and that's next. Well, hearing the word warrior may conjure up images of gladiator-type men in an arena. Have you ever thought of mothers as warriors? Well, author Deven Wallace has. Take a look.
With 3 children under the age of 3, it's no wonder Deven Wallace was overwhelmed. Deven felt like she was failing at her duties as a pastor's wife and mom. But one day, as Deven was crying, she felt the Lord gave her a call to action for her and all mothers.
You, Mom, are that mighty warrior, and you are a skilled archer, and your children are your most powerful weapons.
In her book, The Warrior We Call Mom, Deven lays out a strategy for every mother who is desperate to lead her children and shares the steps for empowering our kids to change the next generation.
Deven Wallace joins us now. Well, the book's title is The Warrior We Call Mom. And warrior is an aggressive word. How do you use it in your concept in the book?
Absolutely. I went straight to the word. Psalms 127:4 says, as arrows are in the hands of a mighty warrior, so our children, born in our youth. And I heard many messages on those arrows, but failed to look over the fact that the one who holds the arrows, God views as a mighty warrior. So that kind of birthed the concept of the fact that the mom and the dad, God sees them as skilled archers of the weapons he gives them.
Yeah. What's the devil's triangle?
Yes.
Talk about that.
It's a place I found myself in as a young mom, you know, when I did have 3 under the age of 3. You know, the devil's triangle really refers to the Bermuda Triangle, and we know years ago that used to be such a mysterious nautical term for places that ships and airplanes would enter into that zone, and, you know, they would lose forms of communication and they would disappear. And the Lord really began to show me in the spirit, this is where many moms end up, in this zone that I call the devil's triangle, that they enter into and they lose all identity, and we never hear from them again, who they truly were called to be. And that triangle is made up of being a daughter of God, being a wife of a husband, and being the mother of children, and trying to navigate the pull of all of those roles.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. You know, it's even one thing to read about it or to talk about it, but when you're walking through it in the reality of day-to-day life, it can feel so overwhelming. How does a woman begin to know her true identity? How did that happen for you?
Yes, it did for me when the Lord was showing me I was lost in the middle of that. And I think when women are pulled emotionally and time-wise, we default to motherhood because we think husband will understand, God will understand. And the Lord was showing me that's going to make your house fall. You can't just focus on motherhood. I'll never forget when he said to me, Deven, you're going to have to be a good daughter before you'll ever be a good mother. And so it was really going back to the fact that I'm a daughter before I'm a wife or a mother, and God made me for fellowship with him before anyone else was in my life. And getting grounded in that identity will help motherhood and being a wife flow more effectively.
One of the things that I suppose all people do this, but I think women do this a lot, maybe because of the cultural pressure to look a certain way, be a certain way. How do we keep from comparing ourselves to each other? Because that can be a devastating thing.
It is. The trap of comparison is a cycle many women find themselves in. I actually talk about it in the book, and I use the example of Deborah and Jael. There were two women, two mothers, a mother of Israel and a mother in her tent, that God actually used both of them to change a nation. And I often relate more to Jael, who was in her tent, probably saying, Deborah's so awesome, why can't I be her? And Deborah, who was the leader, but actually did not win the battle. It was little Jael that actually defeated the army. And so I think it's mothers understanding we're all needed, some in the workforce, some at home, and that success is not defined by what we're doing, it's by walking in obedience, and that God has an army of women in many places, and we cannot compare ourselves or even our parenting strategies to others. Our children are unique, and God has unique design for each of us and an assignment for each of us.
What's the most significant piece of advice you've ever received from anyone?
Well, as a mother, the most significant advice that changed my life is that whatever is easy and convenient is not always best. I actually tell mothers that convenience is an enemy to kingdom parenting. In our society, we're told to do whatever is easiest, quickest, and convenient, and we're robbing our children. Just like going through a fast food restaurant robs us of nutrition, some of our parenting styles that are quick and convenient are robbing our children of what they need. And so I say what is best is not always easy, but it's what will produce fruit.
You know, people who read your book, moms who read your book, because I think we're always looking for advice that will help us to walk more deeply and live more effectively. What's the takeaway you want someone to have after they've read The Warrior We Call Mom?
I think the takeaway is their identity as a kingdom warrior, that heaven is watching them and depending on them. This nation will change, I believe, when the moms change and when we wake up. And the takeaway is that parenting strategy isn't actually found in a book. It sounds strange for me to say when I wrote it, that parenting strategy is found in surrender to heaven, in prayer and in walking in obedience to him.
We're looking at a beautiful picture of your family, your husband and your children there, and it's been a journey for you. You share it so beautifully in The Warrior We Call Mom. Deven Wallace's book is entitled that, and it's available wherever books are sold. If you're a mom and you're struggling to know your own true identity or even how to raise your children to know theirs, this is a great source of wisdom and information. I encourage you to get it. Thanks, Deven.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here.
Gordon?
Up next, she weighed her options, and for Verna, the decision was easy.
Being a mother with 2 kids, getting social service, food stamps, and stuff like that, I said $100 to dance off of a 3-minute song, I'm in.
Find out what changed her mind when we return. Verna Maston just wanted to be known and accepted. She became known as Star, a stripper with notoriety. And just when she had everything she wanted, she realized it was all a lie.
I was having a good time getting high. I was having a good time drinking. I was having a good time being promiscuous, selling drugs. I made a lot of money. I mean, tons of money.
Pleasure and power were all that Verna Maston cared about. The reasons for her lifestyle choices go back to her childhood, when she was one of 14 kids.
I felt overlooked. I was like searching for the love, like I wanted the love and the validation from my mom and my dad. And my dad never said that I love you.
At the hands of family members, Verna was molested as a little girl and raped at age 14. Though she told her parents, they decided to sweep it under the rug.
I didn't feel as though it was my fault. I just felt hurt. and betrayed and abandoned. The hurt turned into rebellion, anger, violence. A person that didn't take no stuff off of nobody, especially a male.
At 16, Verna started going to church again, hoping someone would love her. Instead, she got pregnant by a young man there and was shunned.
And they told me I had to get married or I was going to die and go to hell. And I was like, well, I don't even like the guy, you know? I know I'm pregnant. I just want to keep my baby.
They married, but after a few years and another child, the marriage failed. From Verna's perspective, so did the church and God.
I said that I don't want nothing to do with God, and I'm not going to church anymore. And I don't want to hear nothing about God. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to hear nothing. I just don't want to hear anything.
For years, Verna scraped by as a single mom until a friend convinced her she could make money as a stripper.
Being a mother with 2 kids, getting social service, food stamps, and stuff like that, I said $100 to dance off of a 3-minute song, I'm in.
In no time, she reasoned her way into a new career.
I can feed my kids. I can pay my bills. I can buy all kind of clothes and different types of cars. I can travel all over the world. So that thought went out the window, that it was sleazy, it was disgusting. It flipped into, I'm gonna make a lot of money.
And she did. Verna built a huge business as an exotic dancer, drug dealer, and madam, going by the name Star. While it was all very lucrative, there was more in it for her than money.
Worth. It gave me a sense of worth later on. Everywhere I went, I had a lot of respect. I mean, people knew me that I didn't even know.
And it met another need Verna carried from her painful childhood.
I think it was important because no one would be able to violate me. With 2 guns on my hip, you know, that also helped.
Verna says she had pangs of guilt along the way, but they were easily subdued with drugs and alcohol. She was enjoying it all. But by 2002, Verna started to sense God calling her out of it. She tried to ignore his voice until one night in the middle of a set.
You at a strip party, stripping, bunch of men, raining down 50s over your head, 20s or whatever, and you trying to dance and trying to drop it like it's hot.
She says God told her to leave right then. Verna stopped dancing and ran to the bathroom.
And then the Lord spoke to me while I was sitting right there. He told me to come out from among them and be ye separated.
But letting go of her lifestyle wasn't as easy as she thought.
The money, because that was a lot of money. It was the worth, too.
Within weeks, the growing conviction Verna felt brought her to a crossroads. She holed up in her house for 6 weeks, poring over God's word.
When I took responsibility, that's when I said, Lord, I want you to come into my life. I repent of my sins and save me. Because the pride had me so, I'm all right, but I wasn't all right. I was lost.
Verna found over time that God was able to meet her deepest needs in a way her past lifestyle never could.
Sex couldn't fill it. Drugs couldn't fill it. Alcohol, money. The only thing that could fill that void was the love of Jesus Christ. And once I started embracing his love, all that other stuff slowly dissipated.
Verna is now an evangelist and remarried. She and Garland enjoy each other, her daughters, and grandkids, and especially sharing the truth of God with others.
And I found my worth in Jesus Christ. It's in him that I move and live and have my being.
And you can find your worth in him. You can know in your innermost being that you're worth the price that he paid for you. That he paid all of it. He paid with his own soul. He died on a cross for you. And if you were the only one to ever believe it, he still would have come for you. He still would have paid that price. That's how much you're worth. And that's how much He loves you. You're uniquely made. There's no one else in the universe like you. And God loves you so much, He would give anything to restore a relationship with you, to have you with Him for all eternity. That's the whole message of the gospel. That's the good news. News that the world has never heard before. News that makes Christianity unlike any other religion. All the other ones are concerned with how can you perfect yourself enough so that God would pay attention to you. That can you do enough right things? Can you think enough right thoughts? Can you go off and renounce the world and live on a mountain somewhere and spend all your time meditating and in prayer? No, Christianity comes at it a whole new way. God comes down to you and says, I want you for all eternity. And here's Verna. She's in the middle of sin. She knows it's sin. Yes, there are a lot of reasons for it: hurt, rejection, abandonment, hurt by the church, all of those reasons. But in the middle of her sin, God comes to her and says, separate, come out and be with me. And where you are right now, He's saying the same thing. Separate, come out, be with me. And if you'll just answer that call, He'll come for you. He'll be for you. And He'll forgive you, set you free of anything you've done wrong, and set you on that new path. If you want help with this prayer, give us a call. Number's on the screen, toll free, 1-800-700-7000. Here's a word from Isaiah. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Let God's glory just rise on you, rest on you today. God bless.